Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Another edition here of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. Fellas, back early. Quick turnaround here for the boys.
Very
From
quick.
the Monday recording to the Thursday recording. But dig deep. Happy to be here. Happy to see everybody. Lord only knows where we'll be when this thing gets dropped on Tuesday. Peter, how are you today, sir?
Good, running around. Lots of moving parts between the three of us the next 4 or 5 days. I have to say, I think this was the toughest I think we've ever had a situation where we tried to lock in a day to film.
I don't think we've ever recorded on a Thursday afternoon, but listen, it was either you do this or there's a potential you may not get an episode, and we know that second option is
Just
simply
not
an
an option.
option. It's not an option.
Yeah, not
So
an
we'll
option.
never do that. Bob, did you go down on the beard there? You went
Yeah,
down?
well, I'm getting ready for the wedding. I went down. You don't like it?
Whoa.
It's not that I'm just surprised. I haven't seen it that low in quite some time, so it took me by surprise.
Yeah, I went to Joe, juniors.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where barber wise, I just like to I'm not into the conversation. There's so many other times where I'm into conversation. I'm at the point with the barber, like I really just don't want to say much. The guy I had non-stop every
Really?
I win with it. I'm always
Was
gonna
that the
go with
owner?
it.
The owner's very nice, but he talks a lot.
No, but I will say he does good. I mean, everybody you get there is really, really good. Mike,
Like what's the worst thing, like an over talkative, bartender, waiter, barber,
Uber driver.
Uber driver's
a good one.
Uber driver's a great one.
Take out as bad as it could be. Take out waiter just in the sense of you don't have to see them as much. They do to some point come and go. The bartender's there to stay.
It's there.
The Uber driver's there.
You're there.
Uber driver ain't going anywhere.
The early flight Uber drivers where it's like 5 a.m. and they want to have those seem to be the guys that want to have the conversation. The real
sociopaths are
what's that?
The strangers you sit next to on a bus or a plane that want to start a conversation that
crazy.
Did you guys ever do, I didn't do it for years, but did you ever do the Uber pool where you get into a car with a stranger?
Absolutely.
And then you drive somewhere with them?
I have a good video.
I did that
from
a couple
years
times.
ago. Could you imagine being in the Uber pool and getting Joey D?
Those were the days where money was hard to come by.
I was gonna say this was pre-limousine days.
Those were the days where money was hard to come by.
In this economy, Joe, you can't be saying things like that, right? You can't be in this economy, right? You can't say things like you just got to say, "Yeah, I've done it." Just say, "Yeah, I've done it," and we move on.
I said it was a lower time in my life, where I
was a lower time.
Yeah.
I was trying to penny pinch whatever way I could. What's wrong with that?
Lower time in your life is fine.
Frugal.
I think it was when money was tough to come by.
Yeah.
I
just pick it off the trees like a succulent plum.
That's not.
Remember when he said that? What was that line?
That's not what I'm fucking saying.
Picking the fruit off the tree. Remember that line?
The fruits of my labor.
Line.
Yeah,
but it was like you were saying, like I picked a sensuous nectarine off the tree.
There was a Bob Does Sports episode where he's hammered. It's one of the first beer ones, and he does a speech. It's one of the funniest moments of the show, and then he spits out the beer. Bone, if you could actually play that clip for the vote, just keep in mind
that was a boysenberry.
I am that picker.
Sometimes in life, there's an opportunity that presents itself. It's there just to be picked, like a boysenberry off a branch. I am that picker. Whoa. And I shall pick the boysenberry and put it to the juice.
Boysenberry. Yeah, I remember that.
It's one of the greatest clips in Bob Does Sports history. I think it was like at that moment where I realized that Bob Does Sports could be something. Back when money was tough to come by.
Sure.
Oh my God.
When production value wasn't quite where we needed it to be yet. Right.
God forbid I don't say things the right way with these two over here. It's like everything's. I'm not trying to say, "Oh, look at me now." I'm saying
trying to have a little
back
fun.
then it was like. But by the way, there was a time where Bob and we were really scrounging. I mean, I remember sitting on his porch. we were saving butts of like, you know, doobies that we had. Like there was
the roaches.
The roaches.
Doobies. I prefer doobies, honestly. I haven't heard doobies in quite some
Good old doobie.
You're gonna be doing a lot of doobie rolling when you're living in the van down by the river.
Yeah. No, but Joe used to take his tip money and we would go to a place called Third Stop and they had these blueberry beers that were the best things ever. We would
love
go
a
to
blueberry
Third
beer.
Yeah, very good.
Beer.
Unbelievable.
And
Mikey,
Bob would watch the Yankees lose to the Red Sox on the TV there and just lose his shit, man.
that girl deserved it though. That girl deserved coming in there and looking at me like I was and Mikey, we never were the same since.
We had a couple good times. Remember the time we went with Ticket when he still had his Stan phase where he looked like Eminem with the bleach blonde hair and he was doing the Stephen A impression. Do you remember that?
I do.
I don't know if I've ever heard him do Stephen A. I'd be very curious.
He hasn't been drunk in a long time. You got to get him drunk.
Okay.
If he's hammered, he's got to be
That's
hammered.
a good clip. That's a clip that
Great clip.
My God. Remember, Bob, you did the character thing where Bob took all of us and he put us in like a Mayday, like basically like 1 to 10, like almost like a March Madness bracket.
It was like the Hunger Games.
He put us against each other, and we had to see who'd come out on top.
Was that for characters or was that the hair tournament?
No, it was a character.
No, what's the hair tournament?
Didn't you have a hair tournament? Like who has the best hair of all of people? Or
but it's a great idea. But
that's a good one.
Joe's a one seed.
Yeah, I had thought that
he did characters, and so then he'd put like he had his.
I remember that
his friend's dad with the meatballs. He had Ticket to the. He had Rigatoni was in. And I actually think it came down to me and Rigatoni.
I thought Rigatoni won a hair tournament against
Joe. It was a character. It came down to me and Rigatoni in the final championship slot.
Yeah.
And he did a whole thing with the video on it.
Got it.
Remember that, Bob? That was
maybe it was just someone said that Rigatoni's hair was better than yours and you went fucking crazy. Maybe
there's a guy we know that we're close to that tried to say that they have better hair than Joe, and he meant it. I almost spit out my drink at the table because there is some receding going on there, and I can see it, and I know it's coming. And this guy,
not with this guy.
No,
this guy.
No, Joe. You know the only set of hair that I saw that might be better than yours is the guy from Enterprise Sports, Tug.
Oh, Dan Saravalli.
Dan, that's correct.
Joe, you know who had great hair? What's his name? The guy who does the guy who does
he's got a good quaff.
Great.
The guy who does hockey on ESPN, Joe's got fantastic hair.
Barry Melrose?
Barry Melrose.
Yeah.
Great mop.
He does, but he doesn't have near the volume that Joe does.
Well, Barry Melrose
also school. He's
Barry Melrose got like 20 years on cut.
He's a legend. Yeah. But Joe's not going to lose any of that volume.
No, Joe's going to go.
Bissonette has a good set of hair too.
Yeah, he does.
Some good hair. He's got those curls.
Joe's going to go in the ground like Cousin It from the Addams Family. He's just going to have the flow still going without any question. In my mind, I don't see it going anytime.
You saw the emo cuts. There's times where the hair is just uncontrollable.
Yeah, but really uncontrollable is better than
right. No, we don't feel bad for you when you say that. You know what I mean? All right, folks. Sorry to interrupt the program here, but as we all know, the MLB is in full swing, and just like me and Mikey V, we like to go to live events such as the Yankee game. If there is a live event I'm going to, bet your bottom dollar it's going to be a Yankee game. And bet your bottom dollar I am going to be getting my tickets using the SeatGeek app right now. Use promo code BDShow10. That's BDShow10 for 10% off any tickets on SeatGeek, whether you're a new customer or not. Do live events the right way. Enjoy them, but it all starts with downloading the SeatGeek app today. Again, that's going to be BDShow10 for 10% off any tickets, new or returning customers. We'll see you over there. Thanks to the fine folks over at SeatGeek.
You know what I want to get? You know what I want to buy, and I don't know where to get it? Is one of those like hair ties like the soccer players wear, Mikey, where they like tie their hair back, and so you can just
like Calafiore from Italy.
Yeah, you can leave it like kind of coiffed back, and you just put the hair tie.
That's a nice look.
I don't know where to find one of those. Yeah, Ibrahimovic. I know he used to do a a ponytail, but a lot of the guys, like Beckham used to use one, and it's like a white string, like a hair tie that goes around your hair and just holds it into place. It like locks it in.
Calafiore has it. Maldini, I think, used to.
Yes, you know what? Mikey knows what I'm talking.
I know exactly.
Michael.
Yeah, Joe wants to go for like the Italian national soccer player look. The only, the only thing is like those guys.
I gotta lose like 50 pounds to.
Well, I didn't want to say it that way. I was just going to say.
Let's state the obvious here, Michael.
I didn't want to.
Let's not mince meat.
I didn't want to say that. Mince meat. I didn't want to say that.
It's the truth. I mean, if I want to look like an Italian soccer player, I got to lose a good 50 pounds. So I think now.
Are you concerned at all now, being in the midst of the wedding, and then you're going to go off to the honeymoon? That you're going to you're going to gain another 20, Joe. You might gain a 10 to 20 piece.
You know
here's
what?
My thoughts. I'm going to go all out.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
I realize that I'm going to go all out for the honeymoon. I'm not going to. No,
you can't. I mean, you're not going to start a diet on the
I'm
honeymoon.
going to be in paradise. I can't.
But when did you realize that? Like, you've had to known that. It was not that.
There was a time where I was like, okay, maybe I start right after the wedding, and I'm like, no, that's not going to work. So once that honeymoon is done, I think I'm going to have to do some kind of like Instagram challenge where I have to like hold myself accountable. I think that's the only way.
If you do that, can I have an instrumental role in that? I would like to be, I would love to be like,
Mikey, we could do a thing where you're
perhaps.
Yeah, you could be, we could do some kind of setup where you're like the trainer, and if I don't lose the weight, then there's some kind of weekly punishment.
And then like we'll see each other periodically. So like we'll do a check-in in Vegas. That'll be our first check-in. It'll be
like a weigh-in.
But Joe, why not just follow the only subs workout routine?
Very
Bob, I need one-on-one for something like this. This is a big undertaking.
Bob, the only subs workouts, that's like the Uber pool of workouts.
Yeah.
He's ready for,
don't sell it short,
is Uber XL.
Don't sell it short.
By the way, Bob, I think we could integrate it within the Brilliantly Dumb Show. We could make it a weekly segment.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
And you know what? We could do a weigh-in, and we could do, there could be like some kind of weekly punishment or something.
You guys are big on weighing yourselves.
I haven't weighed myself in a while.
You're a weigher too. You love to weigh.
Almost every day.
That's one thing that like people will ask me like, well, what do you weigh? And I have no fucking clue. I have no clue. I am a guy who I always go by how my clothes fit. That is how like if I'm fitting into a 36 waist, I know like I'm in prime shape. Like I'm in good shape.
To be honest, me doing it every day, to be honest, is probably a dumb way to do it, because the amount you could fluctuate, like I went to a steak dinner the other night, and when I came back from that, I went on there. I'm like, I'm never going to lose this.
Why would you weigh yourself?
I was curious.
That's the worst time.
There's serious bloating that goes on.
First thing in the morning, bold ass naked. That's the best time to weigh yourself.
Well,
Mikey? Go ahead, Bobby.
I do it. I give myself the advantage to where after the workout, after the sauna, then I go on to see, just to give myself the best possible result.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the science of that. I don't know if that's actually better than doing first right out of bed, bone ass, stark ass naked. I don't know. Maybe the sauna aspect, because you're losing all the water weight. Maybe.
I would think so.
I don't know.
I will say, Mikey, with the how your clothes fit, I don't know if that's a real representation, because
I think it is.
My waist, my pant size is still 36. It's my gut that hangs over.
Yeah, you got a weird body. You just get like
I got a chiseled gut. I look like Randy from the Trailer Park Boys.
Joe has like.
Bob, do you know who that is?
No idea. No idea.
Pull up the picture, Joe. Joe has the quintessential like barrel gut. Like he's just got the back. But he's right though. He doesn't go like sideways. It only goes front. He doesn't. Oh man, that's.
But that's what it is. It's like up top, like the chest area, I'm fine. Yeah. And then it's just a full-on barrel.
You got good shoulders.
I got a great back.
I got a great back.
Great shoulders.
You got a great back.
The problem is, by the way, this guy's on Cameo now, Bob. The problem is the barrel. And that is the real problem. And yeah, look at this. So there's a Randy's cheeseburger picnic right there. That's the problem.
Dude, I got a picture from Nicole. Sent me a picture today. Okay,
What are we doing here,
Of
man?
Joe?
Yeah, because Cutsy.
Now Bob's infiltrated my day-to-day lifestyle.
She sent me
when
the
we
picture.
We gotta see it
Sent me
now.
a
I
picture,
have
and
to
I'm
see
like,
it.
this guy's probably like really trying to like lean out for the wedding. Here he is at brunch today.
What's on that plate, dog? That's the Hungry Man. You ordered the Hungry Man right before your wedding, dude?
We got a complimentary breakfast buffet.
Yeah, you did.
Of
David.
course.
By the way, it didn't go that crazy. If you look, most of it's protein, Bob. Most of it is protein.
Talk to me about this plate.
Okay, so there's the mandatory bacon and sausage protein on there. Okay?
Of course.
Then I think there's a half. I went only half of an eggs Benny there. Only half.
I was gonna say, is that an eggs Benedict or a big ass biscuit? It almost looks like a biscuit.
There's an eggs Benedict, and then there's the the stuff that I shouldn't be having. The real tantalizing stuff. That is a French toast with a berry compote and a topping of whipped cream.
Berry compote.
I mean, a berry compote whipped cream combo, Mikey.
Look at how fucking happy he is in that picture, though.
Oh,
Look at that smile.
Yeah, bro.
No, zoom in on the smile, Bob. Give me a zoom on the smile.
But the back.
Look at
with the napkin. That's unbelievable.
Well, so no, I went to take one bite of the French toast, and the berry compote went all over my shirt. So I had to tuck in the napkin as a bib.
Oh, the compote.
Oh, the compote all over his shirt.
Michael, tell me what's better than a waffle or a French toast with some berry compote and whipped cream in the morning.
The breakfast fruit combo on the carbohydrate breakfast. Like if you get like a good order of apple pancakes, man, with like that apple cinnamon compote,
like that chutney,
yeah, dude, or like the crepes. I mean, a good crepe stuffed with like a blueberry or strawberry compote,
so
man.
Even like a pear or peach.
Yeah, I've never had that. That's
a peach is very nice. Yeah, with some cinnamon, brown sugar. Oh man.
I will never ever be the guy that does like the keto diet or like there's gotta be some like food is such an important part of life and enjoying yourself that like there is a balance. Like you could work out a lot and then do your meals the right, like it's somebody who just cuts all that stuff out. I can never be that guy. I can never let that all go. I can never not treat myself to Wendy's or French. Like you gotta live.
Bob with the chef, Bob with the personal chef would be wild to watch.
Oh my God.
I would just sit there and watch him just revel in his absolute glory. I think that's the penultimate happiness for Bob. I can't imagine really another area of his life that he values more than
I agree with
the food component.
Yeah.
I love it because when you go for dinner with him, it's so enjoyable. The conversation's flowing, but it's right. The anticipation of the meal is heightened to a point where it's like, it's just tremendous, man.
If Bob had a personal chef, it would be like his own real life streaming service. It would be like an Amazon Prime, but for food. And at any time he would just like, he'd be just, what I could have today, and just make his choice like that. It would be wild.
He'd be having wild shit too. He'd be like, I feel like a little jambalaya today. Like
he can't be that far off from the personal chef. He can't be that.
Get out of
here. Business is good.
Come on.
I'll tell you what, it's not those hard times where he's trying to penny pinch.
No more rolling doobies on the back porch.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Brilliantly Dumb Show is brought to you by the fine folks over at AG1. If you see me drinking that green stuff on the podcast here, just know that it is coming over from AG1. Joey D takes it. Mikey V takes it. AG1 is a formula you can trust because it's backed by research studies. I have the powder that I dump into the drink. It is absolutely spectacular. 97%, that's 97, Michael, of people in a research study felt more energy after 30 days of drinking AG1. That's a lot, Joe. That's a lot.
97's a high number,
I would say
man.
that's a month.
Sure is. It's a great product. If there's one product I trust to support my whole body, it's AG1. And that's why I've partnered with them for so long. That's why we have partnered with them for so long. Starting your journey with AG1 is a win. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/dumb. That's drinkag1.com/dumb. Check it out. A couple things I do want to just before we even get that. I like the shirt, Michael. Is that a competitor though?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, Breezy doesn't make this shirt. I could say that. Yes,
Is that a competitor? Is that a direct?
Oh,
Is that a direct? It's a good shirt. I'm not. It's great company.
I know. I believe this is a. I think this is a. I think my wife got me this from Target, so you could ask Holly what it is. I don't know.
Could you imagine him coming on with a different cooler than a Kanga cooler in the background? Could you imagine? You know,
never the 4-in-1, never the Brew Crew 4-in-1 Kanga.
Let me flip the tables here, gentlemen. Shall I? Okay. What are those shirts you guys got on? What brand is that?
What do you mean?
What brand is that shirt?
It's a t-shirt. It's not a polo.
Oh, the t-shirt,
not a hoodie.
Like, who makes the t-shirt? Not God himself, certainly. And accountability. Thank you.
Well,
Bob.
it's not a hand up. By the way, I only
appreciate
have
Bob. Appreciate
really well done. Really
Joe,
well
I already
done.
know what that shirt is. That's a Lulu shirt.
Oh,
but if it is, what's the big deal? It's
What's
the big
it's
deal?
A t-shirt.
What kind of shirt is it, Joe?
I think it's a Lululemon shirt.
Wow.
I mean,
man.
But it's not a polo. I'm not wearing a Lululemon polo.
And I mean, we
I
don't
regret doing that because it backfired. I really regret it. I really regret it. Another
Joe
topic.
goes, what's the big deal? He was ready to jump all over me. Well, what's the big deal?
Well, I mean, he's got the Kanga in the back.
What is this? What is this, guys?
No, you do good. You do very
no,
good.
Michael is an advocate. I will.
Oh, come on! You
He
won't
does very-
find a bigger advocate, dude.
You're an
won't find a
advocate.
bigger advocate.
He does very
When
good.
they write into my ambassador contract, talent must wear 50%. Have a day stuff during this. I laugh at that. I laugh. I go 50%. I do 99%, 99, maybe 100. In
it
every
looks like
video I
it
put
looks
out.
like Bourdain's looking down with disdain at Bob after that last comment. He really.
Or Judge looks like he's ready to kill him. He's lighting a cigar before he shoots.
By the
him.
way, the Yankees are back.
Not fully.
Not
They're pretty
fully.
much
I'd
back.
agree with that, Bob. We're not fully back, but I think we're on the way to getting back. Maybe.
Yeah, I
What
just
does that
don't.
mean?
I don't think they can contend. When this thing, if it gets into the playoffs, I'm not so sure that they could contend with the big dogs, like way down the road. If they had to face the Dodgers, I just think the Dodgers are minus 200 favorites. I don't know. I
think all
the Phillies are the best team in baseball, and they're having a bad stretch.
I mean, the Yankees swept them in Philly.
That's what I'm saying. So
listen, I don't think there is any truly great team. I think Cleveland is a team that I really wouldn't want to play in the playoffs in the American League. But you know,
Baltimore's pretty solid.
Baltimore's pitching is dog shit. They just lost
That is
another
true.
starter today. They just lost another starting pitcher today or yesterday. I forget. You know, but you know what team, Bob, always just haunts me is the Astros. It's a team like I just don't want to like the Astros get hot.
They're not at this year,
I
though.
know, but dude, like I don't know, like the Yankees pen, I just don't trust the Yankees bullpen. As far as I could throw, Clay Holmes to me is he scares the shit out of me. And the hitting outside of Judge and Soto, I mean, it's nice to see our guy Volpe back on the rise. It seems like Jazz has been striking out a lot. He started red hot. We'll see what he does, but we'll see. Long season yet. Long season.
Staying in the sports conversation, something that we need to discuss. I think I know who I think should get the nod, who I would vouch for. I don't think he wants it. I got a call from the ticket because the fantasy or the whole Brilliantly Dumb fantasy draft is coming and those dialogues are starting. Ticket doesn't want to be the commish. I think Dickie Gas rode him so hard last year.
Oh, Tick's got to be it. He's got to stick to it.
Whoa, that's a new. Why?
Why?
Why? But
Could you
why?
imagine Roger Goodell signing up for the gig and saying the next year, I'm going to step down?
I mean, there's
No,
only
but
a few
Goodell
$1 million differences between what Goodell's making and what Ticket's
By
making.
the way,
commish.
Goodell's got some tough tasks. He doesn't have Dickie Gas down his fucking throat.
Dickie Gas is one of the toughest guys to manage. He's a nightmare to manage. Now, I will give give him a credit. I saw his Instagram story. The guy housed a dude coming down the lane on a basketball layup. Did you see that?
By the way, what I saw on that clip is the clip stops, okay? It looks like he's about to get really physical with the guy. It looks like if you watch where that Dickie Gas clip stops, it looks like he's going to get the guy.
I think he's trying to clear out so that nobody tries to get the ball after he secured it.
The guy tried to swipe it at him, and I'm pretty sure you see Dickie Gas go. Let me tell you something, man. What, Mikey, like, if he heard this, which he may, would he agree with him being tough for fantasy football and that type of stuff?
No.
In his mind,
he would say that he's trying to get organized and that he's trying to, facilitate action in the league and things like that. I am surprised, however, to hear that Ticket's ready to throw in the towel on one hand, but on the other, I'm not. I stopped my league, which was going for like 7 years, and I eventually couldn't take it anymore because the life responsibilities, they just stack up, and it's like I don't have time for somebody to be texting me complaining that some guy's got a guy on his bench and he didn't play enough guys, and it's like, what are you supposed to do once it happens? Like, it's a thankless job.
In the event that Tick does step down, and I really hope he does, and I hope he hangs in there. I know
Joe
who
taking over the reins.
I'm not. I don't want anything to do with it. I know who the person is who should be taking over.
I have a feeling too. Teddy Ballgame.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because he's a guy who takes a lot of merit in that.
He does.
He's very involved. He's a guy who's like 3-4 games out of a playoff spot and still like chomping at the bit weekly to try to make it.
He's a gamer.
I think he values it and he knows the game enough. The problem with Teddy Ballgame, and I love him dearly, is he's a little too lenient. And I think a guy like Dickie Gas might walk all over him. And it's a testament to the good guy that he is.
You should let Dickie Gas run the league. He'll run it like a fucking. He'll run it like fucking Stalin. It'll be like
letting Joker run Gotham.
Yeah.
No, there's no way. I mean, but Ticket wants out. I agree with Teddy Ballgame.
Dick.
I was gonna say that I think he give the nod to Mikey V and
I can't do that, Bob.
But here's
Bob, I can't do that. Come on, Bob.
But
Come on, Bob.
I think football season. He got a lot on his plate.
This guy is unfucking believable.
I think it's really good for Brilliantly Dumb Show content. I think you would be able to. You're very good with texting, and I think you'd be very quick with responses and rulings. And on top of that, I think you know how to control Dickie Gas and you know how to control our side. To where you're kind of the median for both sides. We're all one big friend group. But
I honestly can't believe that this is being suggested.
Bob is pitching.
I truly can't. Especially after today's exchange with just trying to get this podcast off the ground.
That was crazy.
I explained to these gentlemen, I said, Monday through Friday now for me, 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. is pretty much shot unless it's a holiday or a day off. And now Bob wants me to manage this fucking motley crew fantasy football league. You think I want to get texts from him fucking telling me that this guy did this wrong and that guy did that wrong?
But he respects you. He respects you the most, and I think he would listen.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
Oh, you do, Joe? Okay.
I'm on your side.
Joe, you had a great idea because I knew exactly who you were going to say. That is a man of great moral compass, of great integrity and honor, and I think he would do
but I think if he does take over, then you have to keep some of those guys.
I can assist him.
You have to keep him. You got to keep him contained.
I could be the administrative assistant to the
Like you're like the guy. Somebody steps out of line. You're like the.
But I can't be. I can't be titled with commissioner. I can't, guys. I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Bob, he's got Bears games to cover, Bob.
I have a lot of things to cover.
By the way, Mikey's text, it was like the classic Schefter text Mikey put up the other day. He goes, Brandon Ayuk will be traded to the Steelers. He goes, news will release to the public soon, or what did you say?
I said should be coming soon. Should be coming soon.
Somebody wrote, "Is this another Penix to Metcalf?"
Yeah, I know. You know how bad I want Ayuk traded to the Steelers just so I could say Penix to Metcalf.
So he hasn't been traded over there.
No, not yet.
Oh,
Mikey. Coming soon, Bob. Coming soon.
Mikey, when exactly?
Tell you what.
Next week, Bob.
Just
next week.
saw a tweet with Brandon Ayuk's name mentioned in it.
Dude,
Stand by.
People are going to hear this podcast by Tuesday. He's going to be a dolphin. It'll be him and Tyreek.
Fuck off.
I know. Oh boy.
49ers exploring 3-team trade possibilities.
All right, but so let me ask you, Mike. Not trying, but where do you get? Is this a specific source that it comes from? Is it reliable people? Like, where does it come from?
Multiple
multiple
things I've seen indicating to the Steelers. Steelers to me make the most sense because they really, outside of George Pickens, who nothing against George Pickens, very concerned about him off the field mentally. I think George Pickens has a screw loose.
Okay,
I think he's an all-world talent.
But Mike, give me the source, okay? Give me this. I want
can't
the
do that,
source.
Bob. You can't do that.
Multiple sources, but one of them in particular, very reliable, always on point with Steelers stuff. And no, it's not Jersey Jerry.
Can't be. It can't be the Don.
It's not the Don.
It's just no.
There's a little bias when it comes to the Don.
Yeah, no. It can't be the Don.
I miss the Don, man. I really do. I feel like I haven't seen him in forever.
Boy, I talked to him on the phone the other day. There's a guy that I miss daily. It would be Jerry Don. I miss Jersey Jerry every single day.
He's great.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I just remember listening to Brilliant Dumb when it was just Bob and him. It was hysterical. Remember the time when you guys had to wager on the game and he wanted to put like $1,000 on. He's like, I don't give a fuck what you think. I put everything. It was on the Minnesota Vikings.
Did he win or did he lose?
I think he lost. I think he lost. Yeah.
And Bob was like, Jerry, we got to be smart.
When I was out in Chicago the last time and I went and did the stream with them at Barstool, his touchdown prop, that video that they put out where we hit the touchdown anytime.
Signs?
This guy, I never even, no, it wasn't the signs. It was
some
just
random guy.
Random guy from the Steelers.
Alan, I think his name was some guy named Alan or something.
Joe, I couldn't even tell you. And like Big Cat was ripping him. He's like, Jerry, who the fuck even is this guy, Jerry? And I'm listening to it, and
that's
I'm like,
a good Big Cat.
That's really not bad.
Wow, Mikey.
I'm like, all right, whatever. Fuck it. We all put it on it. And this guy, man, when he scored that touchdown, Jerry went he like just went fucking crazy. Like it was just fucking crazy. He is one of the more fun guys to watch a game with, unless he's got going the other way on your bet. Then it could become very ugly very quickly.
It could go very volatile very quickly.
That's gambling though. See, to me and him, I don't think that's a big deal whatsoever because that's kind of what I'm used to anyway. You try hanging out with these guys. Bob, you've seen it. Joe, you've seen it. When you're going against somebody and they got the other team and you got one, it gets vicious.
Well, Gas goes out of his way to take the other team.
Yeah, I know.
That was the worst I've ever seen, man. Bob, remember that? We were all on the Steelers.
We love
We're all on the Browns.
We love you.
We
love it. I feel like Dickie's taking a
Dickie's had a rough episode. Dickie's had a rough episode.
But hey, you need a guy like that. You need a guy like that from time to time. You really do.
That's what Pacino said in Scarface. You need a guy like me. Point your fucking finger. Say there's the bad guy. That's Dickie Gas. It's Scarface.
Yeah, that is
minus the excessive amounts of cocaine. It's not a job.
The Jersey Jerry thing though, the bets that he puts, I feel like Mikey, you're good. We're like you'll put bombs on it, and we never unit shame around here. But like you won't do anything that like is like life changing. Jerry will put out amounts that he shouldn't.
Well, and he also
you know what Jerry
puts out
does?
Like 12-team parlays of touchdowns.
That's what I was going to say. Like he bombs these parlays, which is really like when you're putting when you're putting like 3, 4,
5 guys to score
5 dimes, you're putting like 5 dimes on like a 3-4 team parlay. I mean, that's ballsy, bro. Like that's ballsy. But listen, you hit one of those, you could pretty much make your season off of one of them.
Well, there was remember the one, Bob, he had the Seahawks was the last game and he didn't hedge the other side.
Oh, yeah.
And they were playing the Broncos or something, remember? And everyone was just saying a hedge. She's like, I'm not going to fucking hedge. Remember? And then he just went bananas. He did a live stream. He'll normally do a live stream when he has those big bets in, which is so fun to watch.
Bro, for him to win the series and the segment on the show, like think about like to do 10 bets. He starts out 0 for 3. The odds of him rattling off 7 straight, and he put a couple plus money ones in there as well. And I remember we wanted him to win so bad because at that point I realized how good he was for the show. So we wanted it to work. For him to rattle off 7 straight games to win the spot on the Brilliant Dumb Show is one of the greatest things that I've ever seen. And the way the Steelers did it, it was amazing. But the last Jerry thing, they'll say, like, I remember he talked about, like, when he went over to Barstool, he talked about how he's going to, like, really start, like, saving money and whatnot. And then they got him into Rough and Rowdy, and he won a bonus in Rough and Rowdy. Like,
He bought the
50
Rolex.
grand. He bought a Rolex. Dude, Rough and Rowdy was over. The next day by 12 o'clock, he had a Rolex, like, iced out on his
I remember that was the only Rough and Rowdy that I've ever purchased, obviously for obvious reasons to watch him. And I remember my brain, I look back on that now and I think how fucking stupid I was, not for buying it, but my brain, the expectation I had was like, well, Jerry's been training a little bit. Like, I think this fight's actually like, this is going to be interesting. It was one of the worst.
Who did he fight?
He fought that guy, Jeff Nadeau.
It was terrible.
Oh, Nadeau, yeah. Was it just were they just swinging him?
Yeah, it was so bad. It was so
were they gassed after like a minute?
Bro, they were fucking dead. They were fucking dead. It was unfucking believable.
Oh,
I remember thinking the same thing you thought because he was training with this guy and like
in like Newark. He was training in Newark, bro.
Dude,
and I was like, oh, all right.
Bobby,
hey Don, quick question for you. You're on the Brilliant Dumb Show.
what's going on?
When you did the boxing match against Nadeau, did you think you were gonna gas out that fast?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Vape in the hotel room before the fight.
Nothing better than a little pre-fight vape.
So you knew you were gonna gas out that fast?
Well, yeah. Well, even during the training, I couldn't even get past the 60 seconds because. But I got good news, Bob. I'm vape free. 2 months now. Almost.
Yeah, I tell myself I'm very proud of him.
I know you can't hear the boys right now, but they're clapping for you. Don, that's amazing because at the rate you were ripping that thing, I wasn't sure if you were going to be able
He's
to
got to help the tick now. He's got to help the
Well, I
tick.
went to the doctor, and there was a chance that I had popcorn lung.
What's popcorn lung?
So pretty much that's the next step into emphysema after that.
Oh my God!
So you just stop cold turkey?
Cold turkey. Well, yeah, I'm on the
gum?
Yeah.
The what?
The dip, chewing tobacco.
Oh, geez, Don.
Goodbye, emphysema. Hello, gingivitis.
Right, you say goodbye, emphysema. Hello, gingivitis. Don, that might be worse for you.
Hey, listen, it could be, but now my gums have been good for the last 30 years. So now I got another probably 30 with it. My gums are done, though.
Hey, Don.
I seen a
funny papers, pal. He's the greatest ever. So now he's on the dip.
That's something, man. Well, you know what?
That's
you know what? To go in
Everyone's got a
our good
vice.
tick. Our good tick needs to go in. He's hidden this, and some of the vapes he's hidden these things. They look like fucking like
insane.
They're they illuminate when he sucks in.
Yeah.
He looks like a dragon, dude. It's unbelievable.
The things that tickets are carrying, it looks like the old iPod. Like it looks like
yeah.
You know, like an iPod.
Looks like he's about just to play the U2 where the streets have no name and the thing just starts illuminating. It's fucking nuts.
It's a big, but if we do got to give credit to Pop in the sense of the weight that this guy lost has been unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
I told him that even at the breezy,
Joe didn't give
we were talking about his lungs.
Yeah, but I mean, even at the breezy, I had to tell him. I said, "Bro, you really trimmed down. Like,
Yeah,
there's a noticeable difference."
You went on the air diet. Good old air diet.
He was on a warpath where like he was like trying to gain weight. It was crazy.
I remember him saying that when we were in Chicago.
He said that 2023.
Like I got to bulk up. I go, for what?
He said it was well, no, he said he was gonna have the fattest year of his life, followed by the most ripped. But he also wanted to go on performance enhancing you know, I just I don't know, what do you call them, steroids?
Yeah, I mean, just air the guy out, Joe. Jesus. It's
He
like
said
Balco.
it public. No, he said it
He does.
publicly.
He talks about
He
it on
had
the
no
pod.
shame at all.
Oh, okay.
He told me the other
talked
day
about
that
it.
like he mentioned it on the Bob the Sports podcast recently, and he texted me that like people are DMing him left and right, like, and they won't say the word steroids, but like they're offering him. He's like, "Hey, I heard you on the pods. Like, are you still interested?" And like they won't say steroids.
How old is Ticket now?
My age, he's 31.
So he's still a little too young. I mean, you don't have to get steroids from a street vendor. You know, if you're of a certain age, it's called testosterone replacement therapy. You go to a doctor, and like if you're over a certain age as a male, they will prescribe you.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Very interesting.
That's correct. I wouldn't know, but I mean that's
right. It sounded like you would.
No, I mean,
it sounded like
sounded
you've
very
never
much
heard
like
of
Mikey
that,
was.
Bob? I mean,
This guy was.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, Joe, you should know this because you're up there now. You're over the hill.
My testosterone is still very good.
No, I'm not saying it's not. You're a bull. You're a bull, but I mean, you're not what you were at 28 either, dog.
Well, no, yeah. When you're like that, you're like a fucking.
Like Bob is still basically in his 20s.
I used to be like one of those horses that they fucking keep in the pen and then you open it up and they just start bucking broncos. Right. That was me back in the day. Now
you're more like the Budweiser Clydesdale.
Yeah,
like gracefully just trots through the
Thanks,
snow.
Michael.
Looks
Thank
regal.
You, yeah.
That's a beautiful horse, Joe. Got great hair.
That is the animal
in the mane on that horse.
Dude,
well, that's actually a good comparison.
Thank you.
They asked Perez when we were in Wisconsin, they're like, do you guys want to do the horseback riding? And Perez is like, Perez goes, you better have a fucking Clydesdale ready.
Imagine Perez riding a Clydesdale. That would be the most unbelievable.
Have you guys ever seen the biggest horse ever? Like how it dwarfed? This is the horse they would have had to get Perez. Look at this puppy.
Holy shit!
How insane is that?
Oh my
God! It looks like a goddamn dinosaur. That horse is fucking insane. It looks like a T-Rex.
Perez was just playing golf with Josh Allen and seeing the picture of them. It's the best. He's all over the place, dude. He's all over.
Dude, every story he's at a different golf course.
It's unbelievable.
Did you see the picture?
Yeah,
dude, it's so
great
cool.
Picture.
Like him.
It's a great picture.
No, I don't think you've seen the picture. Look at this.
Oh, not the bang job.
The one with him and Josh Allen?
Twins vibes.
Oh, that's damn, dude. It
was on Instagram.
That's true. Him playing next to Josh though was awesome. It was so funny just like seeing them together. He called him at dinner. Just so casually, just called him at dinner.
FaceTimed him.
Yeah, he's just like, do you want to please? Like, I'm going to be in, I think they're like, okay, like, I'm going to be at Oak Hill. He's like, what are you doing? Josh is like, yeah, man. He's like, what time? He's like, you tell me. And it's like 3 o'clock. He's like, sure, 3 o'clock. And then the next thing you know, they're out. It's amazing.
Josh
great.
is the man, dude.
He's the best.
The thing that makes me most jealous about that whole interaction is just the fact that these guys could just yeah, sure, 3 o'clock. What time? 8 o'clock? 3 o'clock?
It was
doesn't
awesome.
Matter.
Bro, Josh sent me like 6 different Beats headphones. He did the collab.
Oh, I got some too. Yeah.
Dude, he sent small Beats. He sent big Beats. He's the GOAT. He sent a jersey for the downstairs.
Very nice.
He is the GOAT. And some Bills media, they always try and get him to say something bad about Diggs, and he never does it. And he's always so classy about it. It drove me nuts. A media company recently, like today, I saw it, and
I saw it too.
You know what I'm saying? Who was?
Yeah. I don't know who it was, but I saw his answer. Yeah, I saw his answer.
They were getting dogged in the comments because they took what he said and put out this headline. And I get you got to sell papers, whatever it is. This was so wrong the way they did, because it was so blown out of proportion. He said something like he wouldn't say that he misses Diggs, but the way he said it, if you listen to the whole thing, he said it in such a classy way, and it was such bullshit.
They call that a pretzel job.
They do. And you know what? Shame on anybody out there pretzeling, man, because you just can't. My engineer's here. I have a clogged sink. He's been standing outside for the past 5 minutes, and I don't want him to go. Can you give me 5 minutes?
Yeah, sure. You want me to start buy or sell?
We were gonna get in. I was gonna do the buy or sell.
All right, so I just
you
got to
could
kill
do it.
5 minutes of
All right,
airtime with
well,
Joseph.
do you want to do buy
I'll
or
go
sell
back and forth with Joe. No, I got some questions.
Do
for
the
Joe.
buy or sell. Do the buy
No,
or
no,
sell.
no. We got to wait for you for buy.
Yeah,
By the way,
God,
for the
do
record,
it.
this
Wait for
hasn't
you.
happened in a long time.
Mm.
Imagine.
Now, Joe, I
being
mean, you know,
on-
I have screaming children. I could hear my daughter screaming through the ceiling. She's screaming. My wife, God bless her. I just want to take a second and opportunity to shout out my wife for dealing with it. Because this is this time of the night. If you have kids, toddlers in your home, you know, around 6 o'clock is like 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock.
Why 6?
It's like
they
the
get
seventh
ornery?
circle of hell. It is just it is the witching hour, as Scott Hansen would say on
Well, what
Red
time does she
Zone.
go to bed?
You hear that? Did you hear her?
I heard a little muffle.
Okay, yeah, that was her. They'll go to bed she'll go to bed around like 7:30. Him, but he's not crazy. Like, she's a 3-year-old, so she's nuts. She's bouncing off the walls. Dom just wants to like hang out, watch TV, and relax, which is fine. But like, we try to get both of them down by 8, the absolute latest. But she'll go down like 7:30. But we still got to have dinner. So I mean, that's, you know, and I don't know how my wife's been cooking with all this going on upstairs. It's a lot of shenanigans.
I can't even imagine, man.
It's a lot.
I'm gonna be embarking on that sooner than later, so I gotta get prepped up for that, man.
How many kids do you think you'll have? Is there a number?
3, I think.
You want 3?
I mean, I think if I went girl boy the first 2,
Stop.
I might be at the point where I'm like, okay. Nicole keeps saying, she keeps putting it out in the universe that we're gonna have twins. I mean, I swear to God, Michael, could you imagine me with twins? Could you imagine me with twins?
For content purposes, twins would be ideal.
She keeps saying that we're going to have twins. And you know what? God bless her. She always knows. She might be right. But I think if I had a girl and a boy, I would consider at that point maybe calling it. But I think 3 is a good number. 3 is a number in my head. Now, I have not experienced the trials and tribulations, the joys as well, but
Right.
everything else that comes with having a kid. And then,
Everyone I talk to that has 3, and listeners and viewers in the comments, you could respond to this, because I'd love to hear from you. Those of you with 3 children or more, what you think the difference between 2 and 3 was, because everybody says once you're outnumbered and you can't just be like, you get this one, I'll get that one, that it becomes very, very dangerous. Like, it becomes very, very.
Is there a world where you would try for a 3rd?
Yeah, there's a world, but I just don't. I don't know if that world will ever come to fruition.
Like, say in a couple years, the other 2 are older.
Yeah, I mean, first they both got to be in school full-time, kindergarten. I'm talking about, not preschool. They both got to be in kindergarten. So like, that's Gabriella's like 2 years off from that. Dom starts this year, so yeah. I mean, in theory, sure. But
Okay, so you're not completely against the idea.
I'm not completely against it, but I certainly know that
You're like an 85 percentile of no.
Be like, yeah, it would be a very large undertaking. That's a heavy lift. That's a heavy lift.
That's a plus money wager if you're putting in that Mikey V's gonna have
you know, it is the best time is like when, like, my brothers have a lot of kids. So like, my father is a grandfather times 10.
Oh,
wow. I have 8 nieces and nephews. So at like on the holidays, like Christmas
you have 2
Eve
brothers?
I have 4 older brothers.
Oh, you have 4. Holy
4 older brothers.
Shit, Michael.
So,
that
like,
is
Christmas Eve is fun because like there is it is beautiful, like, to see all the kids around, and it is like that. Those times are beautiful, but like the times where like you actually have to do the day-to-day stuff that's not, you know.
Yeah.
That's
But there are moments when I'm
That's the
saying,
tough
like,
time.
even I'm like the oldest of 4. When you get older, it's nice to have multiple siblings.
It is.
It's a good feeling when you can all congregate together and enjoy, and like, especially at, you know, that's a special thing. So man, I don't know. What do you think, Bob? How many kids do you think Bob will have? I think he'll be a one and done dude.
One and done guy. Yeah, I could see that for Bob. One and done. I could see that.
He will have like a myriad of maids, just like at every corner of the room.
Oh my God.
The maids will take over the task.
Can have an au pair, a live-in au pair.
Could you imagine Bob just trying to reason with like a 2-year-old. Now
Yeah,
come on here, come on.
Well,
over
he
here.
watches his brother's kid or his sister. Who is his brother or sister's kid that he
It's
watches?
his sister's.
And he
son.
always, after he watches his nephew, he's always like, "Oh my god, oh my god." I'm like, yeah, I hear you, I hear you.
Bob, man, I think he's a great uncle. So I think he'd be a good dad. But I again, I think it's just like I'm not even ready for it. I think it just changes the dynamic. And I said this before. I went from living by myself to living with Nicole, and then you have to think about someone else, to then living with Nicole and her dog, and then you have to take care of an animal
Well,
who
you
cannot
see,
fend for
I'm
itself.
gonna
So
say-
it's like the next stage. I'm preparing myself, but
I'm-
then having a child is different than having a pet.
Yes, I'm going to say this is like, that's one thing that I really would like not do for a long time as a dog. I just would not, because number one, like it's difficult enough to like, we're always going somewhere, doing something with the kids. Like you can't leave the dog. You got to worry. And that becomes a whole nother burden.
Yeah.
Then you got to walk it. All the stuff that, comes along with it. I just, that is not something in the immediate future. I could see a third kid before I see a dog.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
But the kids would love the dog.
Yeah, Dom's been asking for a pet, but we're going to start with goldfish. That's what
What about like a little hamster or something like that?
He's talked about the hamster also. I'm trying to avoid animals that like physically leave shit on not in water, like actual shit, like that could smell potentially. Like I can't do that.
You know what you could do, Mikey, that I used to do in the Jersey Shore? Happy to be
Go ahead.
back, by the way. Thanks for having me. Hermit crabs. I used to get
Yeah, the
them at
hermit crab,
LBI.
sure. Yep.
Yeah, they're fun. They got
Hermit
the fun
crabs.
shells. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a big
yeah.
Jersey Shore thing.
Yeah, it's a big Jersey Shore thing. They sell them right on the boardwalk. They're like, they color their shells and like
Yeah.
they're just they hang on to like the side of like a little cage. They're like this big. They're not
Yeah.
big. Like
I
that
used to have one every year I would get a different hermit crab.
You had a hermit crab?
Yeah, it's very unlike me, but yes.
Yeah, but hermit crab, it's very much like Bob, because you don't have to do anything with it. You just put like a
Right.
wet sponge in there, and it's good for like at least a couple weeks. It'll survive
Yeah.
off that. Just a
Yeah.
wet
A
sponge.
sponge.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's
It
bizarre.
eats a sponge?
It absorbs the water. I don't know, Joe. I don't know that.
Mikey, you know something about everything. It's
little bit.
it's amazing. He's
Bob,
right.
You
had
remember
a
the sponge? You remember the sponge?
I forgot about it till he said it. He's right. Yeah. Yeah, he's just
I always
sicko.
said I'd rather know a little about a lot than a lot about a little. Always said
100%. Yeah,
Always said
100%. My dream now, Mikey, before we get into our buy or sell, is after going to LBI, my dream, and apparently I would like Cape May even more, is to be a snowbird and to be able to get myself to a point in life where I could do the snowbird thing and in the summertime go to the Jersey Shore,
Yep.
whether LBI or Cape May, and then be in Jupiter for winter and fall. That's
yeah,
my
I
dream.
think I think you're not far away from that. Seriously, I don't think you are.
All right, let's get on into our buy or sell segment. What did you see that you liked? What did you see that you not like? I think when last time, I'm happy to start us off, get us going here. Kind of a random one, but I there's a place down in the Jersey Shore that does it called Chicken or the Egg.
Yep.
And I just did it at Publix. They had them, and the Publix ones weren't even that good, but because of what it is, I'm really big. Hooters does them, Joe. I'm really big on the breaded chicken wing. I think is terrific when it's done right. Hooters had them when we did our have a day stuff there. They're so good. It's not like a chicken tender because I'm not a big chicken tender guy, but a chicken wing that's breaded is, I think, so good.
Hooters has always been doing that. In
Really?
fact, when you go to Hooters, you have to order like Daytona. They call them Daytona style wings where they're not breaded. Otherwise, all their wings are breaded. Typically.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
So rather know something, a little bit of something about everything.
Right. There you go. Right.
But yeah, and they're not to say I still do love the naked wing, like the buffalo naked wing, but I'm on this kick with them to where if I find any place that has the breaded chicken wing, I'm there. I think it's incredible.
It's a good
So
buy.
just a little something there,
Good
Joey
buy.
D.
I felt very naughty this last week because I have, for the longer part of a while now, people have known my association and affiliation and commitment and dedication to Panera. And I have been very much on the Sip Club, and I still believe that I am. But I came back up north to Canada and I dabbled with Tim Hortons. And I got to tell you, man, Tim Hortons, I'm so back. I am so back. And this doesn't mean that I'm done with Panera. I don't even know, to be honest. I rarely see Panera over here. Tim Hortons, when you're in Canada, it is just such a staple. They have these sausage farmers wraps for breakfast. It's like a wrap that's done with sausage, egg, and a hash brown. They put like a chipotle mayo in there. It's tremendous. And then they got the Timbits and the coffee. I tell you what, man, I might
Timbit.
the Timbit, man, Mikey, you have got to try it.
It's a munchkin. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I tell you what, man, I'm back. I'm so back with Tim Hortons. I'm buying it, and I know you two gentlemen are coming up here soon.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try two things when I'm in Canada are on my list: Tim Hortons and Chinese food.
By the way,
Chinese food is so much.
I threw that by my dad, like for Friday night. I think we all go out to dinner. I don't know what you're going to be end up doing.
Oh, I'm down.
What did he say?
He's like, I definitely was going to mix in the Chinese. He's like, but it's not Sunday. I'm like, Dad, you can't. Like, we're
gonna need a little wiggle room.
Like, come on, like you
got
a
little wiggle room.
Why don't we do a steakhouse? It's like, yeah, we do a steakhouse anytime. Like their Chinese food. He's like, is it really that much better? I said,
supposed to be world class per Google.
Joe got us a takeout place when we were there, and I gave him a hard time when he faked the Google search, which is one of the funniest.
That was one of the greatest things ever. One of the greatest things ever. One of the greatest.
Because you know, if you see him do that little smirk, you have him dead to rights. And it came out. If we have that clip, if you guys remember where that was.
That was the Cousins Maine Lobster episode.
Amazing, Michael. Yeah, if we could have that clip. Joe basically tried to tell us how good the Chinese is in Vancouver, and he did a Google search, and he read what it said initially, but then he added on like 2 sentences that weren't in the Google search.
Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada is well known for its imports and exports, of which is the best Chinese food in the entire world.
The Canadian seaport city is also famous for drink and dine variants, which makes it one of the major reasons to visit. Alongside the wide array of cuisines to taste, the city has a major influence of Chinese culture, which results in the emergence of a long list of Chinese restaurants in Vancouver, some of which are the most renowned. I mean, I'm telling you, no, I'm not.
Wait. That last sentence wasn't there. Did that last sentence?
I'm not saying anything.
Zoom in, Joe.
Joe, was that
fucking bullshit?
I don't know about that last sentence.
He was like, and the province of Vancouver has been known for its ports and multiple Chinese restaurants. And also they're world renowned.
It is world renowned. I'm telling you that right now.
By the way, Bob, do you know that the place we ordered from when we were in Richmond, I've never even tried that place. It was a random spot that we just took because it was the closest to us. Mikey, Richmond is the area where there's the most highly dense population of Chinese, where you could go anywhere within a square mile, and if you just walk into a place, I can almost guarantee you the Chinese food's going to be
I am fully and ready to commit to it. I hope Mr. Burger has a change of heart. He will.
He'll be a team player, but
I may have to shoot him. I may shoot him a side text.
Yeah,
he was talking to Nicole about steakhouses the other day. He was very excited.
I know. I told him we could do the steakhouses anytime. You got to try the Chinese. Like, I was going to do it for lunch. Just do the dinner. You're right, Mike. You got to wait.
There's a good Italian restaurant too downtown Vancouver that's really good too.
I'm in agreement with Bob though, because yes, you could have. People are going to say, well, you could have Chinese anytime. Yes, you could have Chinese takeout anytime, but to find a really gourmet sit down Chinese restaurant is not as easy.
With a big lazy Susan.
If that's available, that's the play. The big lazy Susan, sure. Everybody could get their turn.
Wheel that thing around there. Bob, you like a lazy Susan, Bob.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yo, dude, I'm telling you, man, this Chinese, if you know me, I've said I'm not a big Chinese food guy. I don't mind it. Like, I like it, but I'm not a huge Chinese food guy. If we had what I had in Vancouver, if you had that here, I'd have it 2 to 3 times a week. I'd be nonstop.
Sure.
All right. So Joey D with the buy. Let's head on over to Mikey V.
Yeah, I'm going to sell. I'll be the one seller this week. I'm going to sell the new, not the kickoff for the NFL, which we discussed a little bit on Sports, not the kickoff. The new rules for onside kicks. I think it's taken. Well, the new rules on onside kick is you can only onside kick in the fourth quarter. You can only onside kick if you're losing, And you can only onside kick if
what?
you announce it. If you announce to the referees before that you're going to do the onside kick.
This was
Those are the new
never. I
onside
didn't
kicks.
know.
It's already hard enough to get an onside
Yeah,
kick.
this was never
It
an
is-
issue though.
It
It's
is
not like
so pathetic. And so, I mean, I'll draw attention back to the Super Bowl between the Colts and the Saints.
Saints, yeah.
When the Saints ran that impromptu onsides that worked for them, and they went on and won the Super. You like that's a play, like that's a football play. I just don't understand what they're thinking or doing with that. I think it's terrible. I think it's a joke. I think, Joe, like you said, the success rate is so slim already. It's a terrible, terrible idea. I don't know why they're doing it. The NFL
Is it locked in?
sometimes
Is it a guarantee now?
I'm almost 100% positive that it's locked
That's
in.
crazy, bro.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
understand that. It's fun. I mean, it's so rarely done as is. And
I hadn't
Onside-
even heard of that. I
and
had heard about the
new-
new kickoff, but not the onside.
Onside kick. Fourth quarter begins. The team trailing has the opportunity to declare an onside kick to the officials. Current onside kickoff rules would apply if onside kick goes beyond. So like the mechanics of it, it's got to travel X amount of yards. That's all the same.
I mean, it's
But
already
only in the
so
fourth
hard.
quarter, have to be losing, have to announce it. That is the dumbest. It takes away a football play.
Well, no
Takes
one's
away a
going to do
football
it
play.
now. That's
Well, teams are going to have to do it when you're down in the fourth quarter. You're going to have to.
yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I always loved when like a team would come out at halftime. It was rare, but when they ran those impromptu onside kick, try to catch a team off guard, I thought it was a good play.
Yeah.
you know who never would allow that? Teddy Ballgame.
I thought you were going to say Paul Tagliabue, but yes, steady ball game also.
Teddy Ballgame would never allow that type of shit. That really is, bro. That is.
That's
I
pretty
don't,
shitty.
Stinks.
That's pretty shitty.
I don't understand that one bit. You know how I'm
gross.
gonna know when we're back is when two things. When one of us buy or sell YouTube TV for the NFL. And then when Cutsy yells at Scott Hansen for not like that, the Scott Hansen's got to be better for not flipping to a game. Like,
There's
he'll, like,
times where
scream at him.
he's not dialed in, man.
Oh man, I don't know, Joe. That guy. That
He has
guy's
some
good.
great, but I
Mikey, his body of work is condensed to 4 months of a year.
Joe, but that guy hustles, dog. 7 hours nonstop commercial free
Mikey, if
football.
I
The guy's
told
going
you-
7 consecutive
Who
hours.
cares? It's 1 day a week, 4 months out of the year. If I told you, Michael, you could work 1 day a week, 4 months of the year, because there's 16, okay, just over 4 months of the year, would you not take that gig?
No, I would. I would, but I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I don't think it's.
You got to
like,
be
it's not
dialed
easy.
in every single week. That's a 1 day a week job. That's your bread and butter, man.
I can't even go to the bathroom.
Oh, they go to the bathroom. They play those replays at halftime half the time. He's fine.
Suppose he has like a stomach issue.
He might have a catheter.
I think he
He's got a little
follows.
bedpan underneath the desk.
I think, to be
When
honest,
does
with
he
you,
eat? He doesn't even eat.
he may follow. He either follows me or he follows the Brilliantly Dumb Show. He
That would be nice.
follows.
That's
Yeah,
tough if he does, because I'm gonna hear it.
I'm being honest. I think he's a friend of the program.
Wow.
No.
No,
You
Joe,
know
I'm
him-
being I'm being
You know him
serious.
through Claudia is how you knew him.
Correct.
He doesn't
But-
follow.
But from him being a friend of the program, from him liking our stuff, I believe. Give
I
it a
don't
go.
think-
See if now we got big issues.
I don't think so, Bobby.
I could be off, but I remember her saying that she
It's
likes our
Scott
stuff.
Hansen, right? Because there's Chris Hansen. That's tough
Chris Hansen's
Chris
the
Hansen's
Dateline
Dateline
guy.
NBC. Yeah.
to catch a predator.
Catch a predator. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to confuse those two.
No, Bobby, you don't follow any of us.
No,
No.
Okay.
He follows Tyler Cameron though,
this checks out, I guess.
and Pat McAfee.
Okay,
He follows Cameo.
does he? He's a cameo guy through and through.
Yeah, Bob.
All
Guy's
right.
got to be. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dogging him. He guy's great. But
No, he's great.
I'm not. But there are times, Bob. There are times where it's not even necessarily him. It's like the broadcast. They're showing a touchdown that happened 5 minutes
The
ago.
reason I find it funny is because it's really not him, because he will scream at him and be like, Hansen's got to be fucking better. Like, he'll go off.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people are trying to put stuff on our schedule for Sundays, and I have a fucking eye out for this thing. You can't, because we're so used to footballs not being on Sunday. I'm not allowed. Do you know how many things? 3 different times today, Victoria had called me to put something on our schedule, and I said, Victoria, you have to stay away from Sundays. She goes, okay, we'll do it on Monday. I said, there's a problem with Mondays. You can't do Mondays. The 3rd time she called me, it was something for Thursday. I said, look, Thursdays aren't ideal, but if you could do if Thursdays, yeah.
If only everything in life could take place on Tuesday and Wednesday. That
I
would be
know, I know. And then it was like, then I realized how ridiculous it was. But yeah, we're gonna be streaming Sundays. I want to be over to Mikey's place streaming a game.
Wow, from the Beardown.
Yeah. Those 1 week a year. We always do it, as is tradition. All right, let's head on over to our top 5. Today's top 5 is a Joey D top 5 that he recommended. Joey D, why don't you tell the folks what they're going to be getting?
We're going to be doing top 5 iconic sports nicknames. And I think we talked about this from last week. It kind of trickled into the episode. So top 5 sports iconic nicknames. Now, to me, I don't know how you guys went about this. If I think a nickname is not just that it sounds good, it's almost like if you don't realize it's a nickname, that to me is the best nickname. Like you actually think it's the guy's name.
No, I don't agree necessarily.
Yeah, I don't necessarily.
Yeah, I mean,
agree
you
with
could go
that.
that route. I know what you're talking about. I know where you're going to go with that. That's fine.
I don't think that's wrong to pick by any means.
Right,
I'm saying, well, what's
no,
a
I know
parameter of a
exactly
good
what you're
nickname?
saying.
I
know exactly what he's saying. He's saying like Babe Ruth is known as Babe Ruth. Babe's not his real name.
That's
Tiger
exactly
Woods
it.
is known as Tiger Woods. Tiger's not his real name.
I would make the claim that that's a hell of a nickname when it almost surpasses
it could
your regular
absolutely
name.
It could absolutely go on your list. There's not even a question about it. That's fine. But yeah, I don't know if I agree that it's better than other nicknames, but
Okay. Well,
right.
I think it holds some merit, but okay.
No, but I'm not saying you can't, or I disagree. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but also too, here's the thing that I wonder. The nickname has nothing to do with the athlete's talent, right?
No,
but I would say like.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, no, I know exactly.
I
know exactly what you're saying. Like you just think some nicknames are better than others, and the athlete may not be as good, obviously, as the other.
Right.
Athlete. That's fine. That's fine.
I have some really good athletes that I put in, but okay, all right. Let's head on in, Mikey V. So you won a really close, tight race.
Very tight race this week.
Really tight. And we knew even Joe came 3rd, but Joe had like 21%. It was tight.
it was close.
Yeah, really, really tight. So, Mikey, you get to pick where you want to go.
I'm going to go 1 overall. I am.
I'm going to go. I guess I'll go 3.
I mean, I would have been surprised if you would have went 2, but.
Yeah, I thought about it, but there's really this really could go anywhere.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mikey, let's start with you, pal.
I'm going to start right out of the gates with I'm going to take Air Jordan. I'm going to take his airness, Michael Jordan, Air Jordan for me at number 1.
And then we go over to Joey D.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tiger Woods, Eldrick Tiger Woods. There was a time that I didn't realize that his name wasn't Tiger. I used to just think his name was Tiger.
Correct.
I'm going to go Magic Johnson.
That's a good one, Bob.
And I'm going to go Prime Time. Deion Sanders.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to take the Babe, George Herman Babe Ruth.
Sure. Over to Mikey V we go.
Yeah, I'm going to take the fridge. Refrigerator Perry. I'm going to take the fridge. And I'm going to take the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Good.
That's a really good one.
D-Man.
I'm going to go. I got to take oh man. This is tough now. All right, I am going to go with this is not easy.
The Jerry Don. I love that we called this is Jerry.
This is terrible.
I'm gonna go with Iron Mike Tyson.
Good one.
Yeah, it's a good
Very
one.
good. Okay, I'm gonna go with the Black Mamba.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a good one too.
And then I'm gonna go with the kid, Ken Griffey Jr.
It's pretty damn good too.
Bob, back-to-back weeks of taking Ken Griffey Jr. in some capacity. In some,
Yeah.
didn't you take Griffey last week?
Oh
In
yeah,
your top five.
What was I meant to say? What the top
It
five
was,
was? That was so close. Oh, best players without a
championship.
championship, which was a really good one.
Yep.
Over to Joey D we go.
I'm gonna go with Jerome Bettis, the boss.
It's a good one. I like that a lot.
All right, I'm gonna take give me Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. I'm going to take Mr. October. I think that's one of the coolest nicknames you could ever have, Mr. October. And then I'm going to take, for my last pick, I'm going to take the Hick from French Lick. The Hick from French Lick, Larry Bird. You guys never heard that?
Oh, that's good. I didn't know. No, actually, I take it back.
never heard of that.
I didn't.
I never heard of
hear
that.
All right, yeah. I mean,
no, it's Larry Bird, so it'll play. But he was so excited to tell us, like we were going to be like, "Oh,
no." I mean, yeah. That's
What a fifth pick. I got to go with this one. Otherwise, I'd never live with myself. I got to go with the Russian rocket, Pavel Bure. That one, it says my fifth. I got to take that. No Hick from French Lick, but it is the Russian rocket.
I know Joey D's iPhone password, and it has to do with the Russian rocket. There's more, but it has to do with the Russian
Fuck
rocket.
off, Bob. Stop saying this. You're so sick, man. He's such a sicko, dude.
All right. Get me the big diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, pretty good. No one took the juice.
It's a great
bro. There's so many sweetness.
Bro, that's
sweetness.
Us,
I mean, there's a ton.
Us not taking the juice, actually.
I say he was a criminal.
Yeah, but dude, you got the big unit, you got Big Poppy, you got the answer, you got Megatron. There's a lot. Megatron's a great one too.
Pistol Pete Maravich.
Pistol Pete. Yep. I mean, there's so many.
Shoeless
there's actually,
Joe Jackson.
How about Big Country? Brian.
No, I was almost gonna take Dr. J.
That's a great one. I had that.
Dr. J's a good one.
I had that. We could have done
it. I don't know what's gonna hit and what's not. You know.
Also, Megatron not being.
That's
Megatron
what I said. Megatron.
Oh yeah, that was a great one. All right, Mikey, let's hear it.
I got Michael Jordan, Air Jordan, William Perry, the refrigerator, Wayne Gretzky, the great one, Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, Larry Bird, Hick from French Lick, Joe's got Tiger Woods, Babe Ruth, Iron Mike Tyson, the Bus, Jerome Bettis, the Russian Rocket. Bob's got Magic Johnson. He's got Primetime, Deion Sanders. He's got Black Mamba, Kobe. He's got the Kid, and he's got Big Diesel, Shaq.
Yeah,
that's where we stand.
I don't know who's got the advantage here.
I don't know. Should be tight. I think this is another one that's going to be pretty.
What is the overall standings now?
Bob's got 10 victories. I have
8. My!
I have 8, and you have 7. Very close.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Had you won, that would have been 9, 9, and 7.
Chokehold. What?
All right, boys.
No. Bob didn't win. He had 10. We were 10. We were 10, 7.
That's 7. A big win for Mikey.
Bob would have
big by 1%.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That does it. Another edition of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. Love you, boys. Appreciate you, boys. See you, boys, in Canada. Find us at Tim Hortons. We'll see you next time.